badly, but in fact, what happened in the markets was today when the markets opened, we saw a slight gap up in the market. Then it shot up above 16,000. We are talking about Nifty, and then it broke down, and there was a one-way fall. But then towards then there was slight recovery. But so on a close-to-close basis, Nifty did not react much. But what happened is that intraday volatility was huge. So from the day's high to the day's low, the move was about almost close to 200 points. But the volatility index keeps coming down. In fact, despite the huge intraday volatility, the volatility index is coming down. And one more thing to discuss today is the US markets. And like we were saying just yesterday, that for the last few months we are seeing a trend where the US market was reacting not the very day of the event but on the next day. So exactly the same thing has repeated again. So as we say, history repeats itself, and we are seeing US markets again reacting negatively to the inflation data which was out yesterday. So that is also we are going to discuss today. Let us start with the Nifty analysis for the day. So we are having Nifty. It has closed 28 points down, 0.18% in the red, closing at 15,938. So these lines we were discussing yesterday and also today morning pre-market show that if Nifty is going above, if it is breaking 16,000, we can expect the first level of resistance to come around 1650 to 1670, and markets took resistance around 16,070, and then from there was a complete sell-off. 16,000 was broken with strength, and then the markets was stabilizing around 15,950. Then again it shot up, it tried to beat 16,000, and this candle, this huge candle which you see, let me zoom in a bit, this is purely based on Reliance Industries was the one which was shooting up. We will come to that in a bit, but this was because of Reliance, but that was also sold into, and then the markets broke this important level of 15,918, and then the markets made a panic low of 15,858. From there it recovered towards the end and ending around 15,947. So this is the movement of Nifty. And Bank Nifty, things were looking quite bearish. So it opened with a gap up like Nifty. It tried to go and break 35,000, but it could not. It took resistance there. Then there was one way fall, and the markets had come down drastically. So Bank Nifty looks very weak. 0.51% down, or down by 0.17 by 176 points, closing in at 34,651 in case of Bank Nifty. Talking about other indices, we have the mid cap index. It is up today, especially this last minute. You can see huge green candles forming. The Nifty mid caps are down, but it is not that much. It is just 0.09% in the red. But Nifty small cap having a very bad day. It has done the worst among all the sectors, 0.72% in the red. Now coming to specific sectoral indices, we have only 3 sectors which have ended in the green. One is Nifty Auto, 0.13%. Then we have Nifty Pharma. Nifty Pharma is up 0.78%, and I have been discussing this in the last few shows where I was focusing on the pharmaceutical stocks. They were doing very well. Sun Pharma, then we have Dr. Reddy's Lab. So these stocks are doing really well. So definitely you should be focusing on those. So till Nifty Pharma reaches this high, this is where we can expect some kind of resistance coming into the markets, but we are still yet to see some positive momentum. Since the market got sold off, we can see that the pharma index got sold off a little bit, but still the strength remains in the pharmaceutical index. So that was pharmacy, and the next best performer was Nifty Energy. Nifty Energy had a good day. It is up by 1%. Now this is purely because of the government. The government has come up. If you remember that, I think it's 2 weeks before, on a Friday, government had come up suddenly with their launching of the windfall taxes on these companies which were into crude oil processing and manufacturing. So the government has imposed windfall taxes because the crude oil prices were rising and these companies were making more profits than they should. So since now the crude oil prices have come down and these companies are going to be losing quite a huge amount of money because of the taxes, and also the crude oil prices have come down, so government is planning to withdraw the same taxes, and this news hit the market. But again, we are yet to confirm this news. It could be a rumor at best. So the markets react to any news, and that is exactly what we are seeing. Reliance shooting up like anything. Just it shot up almost 2% in 2 5-minute candles. That means within 10 minutes it was up 2%, but then it could not sustain. You see huge green candles forming, but then it was again sold off in the subsequent candles is what we see. So definitely Reliance having shoot up, but it on a close to close basis it came down, but it still ended around 0.8% in the green. Same thing happening with ONGC. ONGC is the same 1 o'clock big candle is there, and you can see it is shooting up like anything, but then again it was sold into. But ONGC ended 1.21% in the green is what we are seeing. So coming to some of the weak sectors, we can see definitely the Nifty IT continues to perform very weak, and it is at again down 1.58%. So IT index looking very weak right now. If you look at the index, if you look at the low, we were discussing that this low which was made around 17th of June, this is around the level is 26,000, around 26,500 is what we see. So in fact the markets, when it was falling, it today in fact it broke that level. It made a low of 26,298, and from there it recovered slightly. So definitely IT index looks very weak. If this is broken again, we can expect a further sell off in the IT index, and when this happens we can expect again a huge amount of fall coming into all the IT stocks. So this is about the IT index that was weak, and the weakest sector today is definitely the Nifty PSU banks. Nifty PSU bank index down by 2.21%. Coming to some stocks today. TCS, we were discussing that 3000 is a good level for TCS, and the last time the markets took support over there and it reversed from there, but today it did not happen, and we are seeing TCS made a low of 2697, but towards the end there was some buying pressure. It ended at 2998. So TCS breaking 3000, that looks very weak. It is down almost 25% from its recent high. It was close to about 4000, so from there it is now below 3000. So TCS looking weak, but for long-term investments you can consider getting in slightly, not invest the entire amount at one go, but maybe every time the market falls 5% you can invest a little bit. So that system you can follow. Infosys, same thing. Infosys is also down by 1%. Among the banks, Kotak Bank had a really good day. It broke out from its levels and it is up 1.61%. Adani Enterprise also having a very good day, very close to its all-time high. It is up by 1.26%. So these were some of the stocks for the day, and we have discussed those. Coming to FII DII buying and selling activities, again an interesting observation here. FIIs have bought for 309 crore after continuously selling for the last few days. So good to see FIIs have turned buyers, but the bad thing is DIIs have turned sellers. So DIIs have sold for minus 556 crores. So this is the FII DII buying and selling activity. And also the last few days, whenever we saw FII buying even a small amount, the next day the markets actually stabilized or it went up. So let us see if that theory works tomorrow or not, since FIIs have bought in small quantities, but let us see if that thing repeats or not. Coming to index movers of the day, Reliance we have talked about. It is the top gainer for Nifty. Reliance, Kotak Bank, Sun Pharma, Maruti, ONGC and Dr. Reddy. So these are the top gainers, and definitely TCS and Infosys losing the maximum amount in case of Nifty 50 stocks. Coming to the economic calendar, we had an important data coming out today, that is the wholesale price inflation data for India for the month of June. It came at 15.18 percentage, that is below 15.5 percentage, which was the expectation. So that is also a positive sign for India. So this is the data that had come out today. Now let us discuss about the global markets and see what things are happening over there. Let us start with the German index. So today all the European markets did very poorly. So if you can see the 5-minute chart, you can see a clear fall happening after it opened. So towards the end there was that slight buying, but it was nothing significant. So DAX, the German index, closed 1.86 percentage in the red. French index falling 1.4 percentage, and even UK stocks falling 1.61 percentage. So all the major indices in Europe has fallen. And now coming to the US markets, right now S&P 500 is trading 0.92 percentage in the red. So since the European markets were down, we almost saw a huge gap down in the US market, and it was continuing to fall. But right now we are seeing good recovery happening in the market, and you can see there was again a second round of selling, and even that has been bought into, is what we are seeing. S&P 500 down by 0.9 percentage. So from -2 percentage to -0.9 percentage is a good recovery, is what we will see. And coming to Nasdaq doing even better. It is down just 0.3 percentage. So it opened with a gap down. It continued to fall, but then we are seeing a good recovery happening in Nasdaq as well. But now Dow Jones look weak. It is down almost 1 percentage as of now. So this is the US markets, and US markets obviously they are down slightly, and like I was saying, that US markets reacting one day after the major announcement happening. So this time the same thing happened. So yesterday the inflation data came out, today US market is reacting. But it is good to see the US markets are recovering from its lower levels, so that can indicate slight bullishness tomorrow in the markets if that sustains and it ends somewhere in the green or even flat. US VIX is up. Definitely it is up after there was a huge gap down. It is up by 1.3 percentage. It is at 27 right now. But India VIX, despite all its volatility, India VIX has again come down by close to 1 percentage. It is now at 18.3 is what we are seeing. Coming to crude oil prices, you can see it made a panic low of around $90.58. So crude oil prices coming down with strength is definitely very good for the market, especially during times when everyone is fearing recession hitting the markets. So that is very good to see. Right now it is trading around $95. So definitely close to the lower boundary of this area which we had drawn for many days back. So good to see that crude oil prices, maybe if this level is broken, we can expect a further down move. And so that is good for the economy, and maybe good days are coming in the near future is what we can expect. Dollar index is at 108.7 right now. In fact, it touched 109 at one point of time, and this is solely based on the euro had broken par, which means it was below 1 euro was equal to $1. That is called par. And when 1 euro falls below $1, that is the time when we say that it has broken par, and that was the situation when it made a low of around 0.99. so that was showing quite weakness in the market, and so there was a panic situation happening. That is why dollar index was shooting up so much, and this has nothing to do with the dollar gaining strength, but because the European currencies are getting weaker, that is why dollar index is gaining strength automatically. Coming to Indian markets today had touched 80.21. So that is again the weakest point in history of the Indian rupee, and exactly that is where it had touched. So things are okay. Indian market is depreciating, the Indian rupee is depreciating, but only thing is it is not depreciating as much as the European currency is depreciating. So that is one good thing for the markets. So, and also it can attract foreign investors, since now they can get more rupee for $1. So definitely that could be a reason FII could turn into net buyers in the coming days. So that is also a possibility. So overall Indian market is fundamentally looking quite strong is what we can say. So there is although the news flow is negative, and mostly because of the global markets we are falling. India wise, the inflation data came lower than expected, and other things look good. So definitely we have to see when the markets get back and try to become bullish once again. So we have to wait for that. SGX Nifty is showing 15,906. So in a 5-minute chart, you can see that when the US market opened, what was the condition of SGX Nifty? SGX Nifty actually touched 15,802. From there, it recovered as the US markets are recovering. It recovered from there. So that is again good for the markets. So let us see where the US markets end. That is going to be important. And talking about levels, the same levels are there. So definitely 16,000 on the top. Then 16,070 is today's high. That should be a level that you can mark in your charts for tomorrow. And on the downside, definitely today's low is going to be important. Then we have 15,835, then 15,800, and the main level 15,672. If this is broken, we will take a good bearish trade. Other than that, there is no reason to do so. And on the bullish side, we have to wait for a closing above 16,000 to take again a bullish trade. So this is, until and unless these levels are broken, it is good to take short-term intraday trades or maybe swing trades in Nifty until these important levels are broken, because that is when we will get a clear trend for the markets where they are trying to go. Coming to Bank Nifty, we are seeing important level of 34,500 should hold. Market did not touch that level. So tomorrow, if there is bearishness, we can expect the markets to touch that level. And if that is broken, next level comes around. This is the level of around 34,000, we can say, is going to act as a good amount of support for Bank Nifty. On the upside, 34,800 and then 35,000 to 35,100. This zone will become a important level of resistance for Bank Nifty. So until and unless that is happening, we can expect the markets to remain sideways to slightly bearish is what we can say. Now, obviously, let us wait for the US markets to end and let us see how the Asian markets open tomorrow. So all of those will be discussed tomorrow at tomorrow morning's pre-market show at 8:15 a.m. And until then, have a good night and thank you for watching.